Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. Last time we were flying my Rekon 6, my own build, and it flew great on maiden flight day. However, on the second day it was crashing into the ocean. And the very concerning part to me is that I had no idea what really happened. So I was reaching out to Joshua Bardwell. I was asking him in one of his live streams what could have happened and if he would be so kind to take a look at this. And it was really nice that he was so kind to actually do that.
Let's read some of the super chats coming in. The first one is from Matt Shonan. Thank you for 1,000 yen. I lost my new Rekon 6 build. Return to home was set up and working. Would you take a look for feedback? Hope to avoid this when rebuilding. Let's take a look at Matt's video.
Really great that Joshua could agree to take a look at this and give some of his time for analyzing what could have happened and sharing his thoughts. Let's take a look right after the intro.
Let's take a look at Matt's video. I'm not sure how much I'll be able to tell you. A lot of times these things don't have a lot of information. It's just like, whoops, then it crashes. Minute 9:30. Hang on.
Squad. And the disturbing part is, I really have no idea why that accident happened. It ditched into the ocean and...
Oh yeah, there it goes.
I didn't have any pre-warnings why.
Can't hear the motor sounds. Looking for any signs of anything going wrong, like twitches. I don't think so, though. If there was a little bit of movement, it probably would just be the wind. I mean, there's a lot of wind out on the ocean or wherever. So I do see some bumping. I can't tell if that's anything mechanical or just the wind. Here we are coming up to the crash. Would be nice to see the OSD.
Yes, it would be nice if the OSD could be shared, but I was flying DJI, the V2 goggles, and there is no real good, easy way to share the OSD. However, there was really no indication in the OSD I could see. The RSSI was fine. I have the WTF OS running that I can see all those parameters. The voltage of the battery was at 3.7. So there was no warning whatsoever or indication why that could have happened.
Or is this at 1x speed? You're moving. You're cooking.
So yeah, I was cooking. Yeah. No, that was the real speed. I was flying about 80 kilometer per hour, sometimes getting closer to 90. So yeah, I have my long range set up for speed. The camera angle is a bit aggressive. And I was really that fast on my way going back to shore. That was correct, and it was at 1x speed, this video. It was not speed up.
Is this sped up? Okay, so here's what I see. There's a fish. I think it's a trout. No. What I see is that the props are still spinning. So I would say this is not a failsafe. If this was a failsafe, the motors would have stopped at the same time and the quad would have fallen. So this is not a failsafe. I also don't think it's like a broken prop or a failed motor. Because a broken prop or a failed motor, I would expect to see a whoop, 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 spin. And what we see here is it rolls one way and then the other way. Watch again. We'll put it on 50% speed. 50% speed. We'll watch it again.
So according to this, I can also agree. I was very careful tightening all the props and checked the prop nuts before every flight, especially for long-range cruisers. I'm careful about this because I do not want to lose a quad. At least I don't want to increase the risk of losing it unnecessarily by being a bit sloppy by tightening props or not checking the engines carefully before I'm doing a flight. So yeah, well, I guess then with this comment by Joshua, also that kind of scenario that a prop was loose or an engine was damaged and not really providing enough thrust is out with this, and it must be something else which happened during this flight why I lost it.
Okay. It feels, I don't think it's the battery. James thinks it's the battery. So he says that the battery was at 3.7 volts.
Yes, the battery was kind of brand new. I had a few flights in. There was also no indication that this was overused. It had a battery voltage of 3.7 volt, and I checked it was a 5S battery from GNB at 2200 milliamp, and I had them custom built and sent to me. I bought 20 of those, and they're really performing great. So I don't really see why it should be the battery. It didn't feel like I was sagging out. I had enough power, and just suddenly the nose dipped and it banged to the right and left and rolled in a weird way into the sea. So yeah, it is not an issue of the battery. That would also be my point of view.
To me, a battery would not cause this jerking. Whenever I've run a battery all the way down, I'm flying and I'm raising the throttle and I'm raising the throttle and I'm raising the throttle and the quad is not going up, and then whoomp, it just sort of plows into the ground at full throttle. It feels like one of the motors glitched and then it bounced back and tried to recover. We're at 50% speed again. It feels like we had like a motor glitch or some other mechanical problem that caused it to twitch. Which way does it go first? I think it goes front. Okay, so it begins by dipping to the front and to the right. So this says that the front right motor stopped making thrust. And then it catches and bounces back. Let's look at the prop. Let's look at that front right prop. Could the prop be loose? Did he turn right? Magicar thinks maybe he turned right. If he began to turn right, that would explain the initial bank to the right. Does the bank to the right look like a turn? No, because he's nosing down too. He's nosing down too. So he's turning to the right, but he's also nosing down. And I don't think he was trying to nose down here.
Yes, I can confirm this. I certainly didn't want to go right, and I definitely didn't want to nose down here. Actually, at those concrete blocks down there in the sea, that was my target point, and at that point I wanted to tilt left going back to shore. So there was no stick input from my end to either bank right or definitely not for nosing down. That is correct. I didn't try to do that.
So I don't think this was an intentional move. I'm looking at that front right prop. Let's just see what we got going on here. It's still spinning. You guys can't see it. Hold on. The front right prop is still spinning. Spinning. And now it speeds up and catches again. And now we're going the other way. But then why didn't it just... And now it's straightened out. Wait. Now it's pitching forward. What is it doing? And now it's just flying into the ocean. So this sequence of movements is difficult to explain. it's wobbling. A bad motor or a broken prop would probably just result in a death roll. The way it wobbles back and forth is hard to explain. It like catches itself and is having almost it's hard to explain. If we had a situation where there was a loose prop and the prop caught itself, you would see a dip and catch, but you wouldn't see it going back and forth like this. This is difficult to explain, to tell you the truth. That's my analysis, though.
Really a great, clear analysis by JB. Just unfortunately, we don't really know what happened, and going forward, that leaves some uncertainty, because if a crash is not really clearly defined why it occurred, there's always the question what could have been avoided or what should be done that this is not happening again. Taking everything into account, my best guess would be, well, maybe a bird strike. And this is what JB had to say about that.
Matt Shonan, thank you for 200 yen. Could it be a bird strike? I mean, it's possible. I guess it's possible. Who knows?
It really could be that a bird of prey was attacking from a higher altitude, going in a dive after the quad, which was flying with 80 to 90 km per hour, and grabbing it from behind, throwing it and diving it basically into the ocean. We will never know for certain, but this seems to be a viable option what could have happened here. It also seems possible because there are hawks around in this area, quite a few, and they're attacking randomly people at the beach if they feel threatened. And if one of those spotted the quad and felt like that doesn't belong here, well, there is really a viable option that it was attacked by a hawk. Well, I have the frame on order. I will put the same motors from FPV Cycle on it. Completely different electronics, and I will update a few things. I will share that in a future video to come, and then we will take it out again at the same location and flying over that spot where we crashed. Hopefully this time we will not. Maybe it's a Bermuda Triangle here, and it will, but I don't think this will be the case. We will see. And as always, guys, thanks for watching. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, that would be really appreciated. Have a great rest of the day, stay safe, and see you in the next one.